We just moved our entire family across the country, away from family, friends, church, school, and everything we know, all after visiting this state for only 4 days.
That's right, we just cashed in on a historic real estate market in San Diego, traded up from a 1,400 square foot house to a 3,100 square foot house, and get this, it's actually cheaper. So the three main questions you're probably wondering: first, why did we do it? Second, how did we choose where we wanted to move? And probably the biggest question you have is, where did we move? So buckle up and join the ride as we share our journey and potentially pique your own curiosity on whether a massive move like this is worth it.
Now, this whole journey started when I was asked the question, can you envision your grandchildren living where you live?
Wait, you have grandchildren?
No, we don't have grandchildren yet, but living in San Diego for the past 10 years, the idea of our children and even our grandchildren being able to afford to live in San Diego and buy a house just doesn't seem likely.
What began as a simple exercise resulted in a cross-country move in less than 5 months.
The reason we moved can be broken into 4 buckets. First, cost of living.
Second, a better home for hosting.
Third, financial flexibility.
And last, but certainly not least, a way to improve our family culture and rhythms. We won't go into depth on these today, but here's a little further context.
Cost of living. We felt we had outgrown our 3-bedroom house, and to get in a larger home that had the amenities we were looking for, it would have cost somewhere in the ballpark of $1.1 to $1.6 million. You're probably envisioning a house that looks like this. Unfortunately, it's more one that looks like this. And even at that, we can't afford it.
A better home for hosting. We want our home to be one that our children love to bring their friends to, and one that we can easily host people in. Our 1,400 square foot house just wasn't cutting it.
Financial flexibility. I've run a video production company over the past 10 years and have had to keep the pedal to the floor just to be able to afford living in San Diego. Now, selling our home and moving to an area that's more affordable would give us the flexibility to figure out what we want business to look like over the next decade.
Improving family culture and rhythms. We're not sure if you can relate, but we've been in a long rut season as a family. Our 8 and 10-year-old daughters sharing a small room just wasn't working anymore. By getting a larger home and honestly just shocking the system with such a big move, we see this as an opportunity to build new rhythms and hopefully help our family become healthier and happier, learning more about true joy each day.
Now that you know the why, here is how we chose our location. We had a variety of different criteria. Lower cost of living. This includes house prices, property taxes, income tax, and a variety of other factors.
Diversity. We're a multiracial family, and we want to be in an environment that has healthy diversity to help us build the community that we're looking for.
Good local economy. Since I run a B2B video production company, having a good local economy is paramount.
Livable winters. Having spent the last 10 years in San Diego, we really didn't want to move to a place that's under snow many months of the winter.
Good schools. We have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 3-year-old. We want to make sure that they have great schools to attend in our local community.
Lastly, the possibility of having extra land. If it makes sense, we would love to have a house with 1/4 to an acre of land.
I'm sure by this point you are dying to know where we moved. Drum roll, please.
Raleigh, North Carolina! Okay, it's actually a suburb of Raleigh called Fuquay-Varina, but we figured most people wouldn't know of it, so let's just call it Raleigh for ease sake. If you just pulled up a map, you'll see that we moved over 2,500 miles away from our home.
This may seem drastic and possibly a dramatic change, but here are the reasons why. First, I've worked in the Raleigh area twice in the past 5 years, and both times I thought to myself, I could see myself living here. It honestly reminds me a bit of when we lived in Portland, Oregon in our 20s. Our 20s.
Second, in the suburbs, we could buy a 5-bedroom, 3,000 square foot house in the $500,000 to $700,000 range. For a SoCal family like us, this feels unreal. Third, depending on the neighborhood we buy in, we could get up to 1/4 to a full acre of land.
Fourth, Raleigh is a booming economy and a tech and biotech hub, which is great for my video production company. Fifth, while no climate is quite like San Diego, Raleigh gets 4 seasons and not the crazy winters nor the desert heat. Though I do admit, it's been a bit warmer than we expected.
Sixth, the Raleigh-Durham area is incredibly diverse. And lastly, there's a lot of new development and great schools. All right, so if you've stuck with us this far through the video, you're probably wondering what's next. Well, we'd love to continue to use this channel to share adventures that you can take with your kids.
And also, we want to be able to do different stories and updates about what it's like living in a completely different place. How do we build community, the tips, challenges, and things we learn along the way.
If you have any questions about the move or any of our adventures, please ask us in the comments below, and we'd love to engage with you and get back to you on that. And as always, continue to invest in family,
adventure,
and love.
Goodbye, California.
Ezekiel kind of bailed.
That's okay.